Two, one.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to another episode of the Currency Exchange by Caribbean Currency.
Right.
Um, Red, what good?
Everything's safe. I missed the carnival by design.
I about to say, you say you miss it. Most people that say I missed it is like people that had intention to go.
Yeah, that's just that's what I mean. Last year, the
Mhm.
thing is like, unfortunately, I never got a chance to really travel the world or experience other people carnival outside of the Virgin Islands, and
Mhm.
I want to try experience other stuff first before I go back to what I've been doing for the last
Right.
15. Ain't nothing against
Yeah.
it. I support it. You go home, you're spending money, and you make sure you try empty your pockets down there. I mean,
Yeah,
so
that's
people could.
fair.
Yeah. But seeing these
That's
people,
fair.
see them for VI, the well building gala. I want to see them again. I just see that. I don't want to see it.
So you say the only time you want to see them is at the World Building Gala, you say?
Yeah, I don't see them on twice. I see them on in December. I see them on in March. Nah, man.
I get it April, oh God, but
April. They got one in April. Oh, God.
But yeah, man. Well, I feel you on that. Me
Yeah.
personally, I've been to a bunch of different carnivals, a
Right.
bunch of different events and stuff. So I've been able to experience other Caribbean carnivals, and I could be able to kind of see where we excelling and where we falling short in certain things. So I kind of wanted to like give a little insight and just from what we
Right.
know our carnival, what it used to
Right.
be
Right.
to what it is today, and what it can be. So it ain't just what it used to be to what it is, but also
Right.
what it can be. You know what I mean? Um, so that's why I felt like this year was needed right after Carnival in the heart of, you know what I mean? When people, it's still fresh in people's minds,
Right.
have the conversation about Carnival. You know what I mean? So if you're joining the, if you're joining the live, we're gonna talk about how can we improve our Carnival product in the Virgin Island.
Yeah.
You know, because as good as it is, it could always be better. And we always have to strive for whatever it is we do. We can't get comfortable in wherever it is we're doing. And we can't think that we're winning because it's working right now.
Right.
Because somebody, someplace in the world, trying to do what you're doing better than you.
Facts.
And if you ain't trying to do what you're doing better than you doing it right now, guess
Yeah.
what? You're gonna get lost. You're gonna get misplaced. So
Right.
hopefully the powers that be could hear this and even join in the conversation
Yeah.
and see, you know what I mean, where we at. Um,
First thing, this, I don't want this to be, I could understand how this conversation could become emotional because we are
mhm,
emotional Virgin Islands. Why
yeah,
don't discussion is like, oh, you live in a state, so you don't know what's going on down here.
yeah,
How my
yeah,
grandmother, my
yeah,
father, mother,
yeah,
my step, my uncles, my siblings, they all live in the Virgin. How could I not know what's going on?
yeah,
Just America. As if
yeah,
I don't 4 times like
yeah,
so I don't want that to enter the discussion. Like all of it is necessary. You might be home and have like a more intimate understanding in a sense, but that doesn't mean we're like removed or
yeah, exactly, exactly. And at the end of the day, the conversation is to try to we all want what's best for the Virgin Islands.
yeah.
So had a conversation with somebody.
It's like us going out into space, to see what's going on. Hey, look, we
Say that
just come
again?
from us coming into America is like us going out of space.
Yeah,
Oh,
facts,
space and this is what going on out of space. That 10
facts,
light.
facts, facts. So it's like a situation, like I say,
Right.
we want what's best for the VA. So even if the people are and then we got that narrative have to stop too with people. Okay, two things got to stop. People that living abroad are speaking negatively on the VA without the constructive criticism as to
Mhm,
what it is we could be doing better. That
mhm.
got to stop. Right?
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, the next thing is if we're in a situation where people that living abroad, that seeing how things are being run efficiently abroad, coming with some insight on how things could be run efficiently back home. Listen to them. Hear them out. Just hear them out. Don't dismiss what it is they're talking about. Hear
Right.
them out and see if it applies, and then we be able to, you know what I mean? Go
Right.
from there for the kids.
Before
So
we move on, guys, if you're in the comments, big up yourself. Hail up to everyone on Instagram, and YouTube, and on Facebook. If you have a chance, if you can help us out, please share the live. If you want YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the Carnival recap. There's some things guys want to discuss. Let me have you to know before we discuss it. Here's what Kyla do, right? Before Kyla come up with a topic, right? And then we will argue, we argue, me and Kevin on the phone for like an hour today, all the 10 o'clock in the morning. Big debate over the same topic right there. You know what I'm saying? But the purpose, and he said it, point, I said, I don't want to come off the phone until we come to some kind of consensus.
yeah,
I don't arguing to be
yeah,
arguing. Say,
yeah.
it is it. But
Mhm.
trying to drive the conversation in a way how you could make Carnival better. Not to say what bad, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? But of course, with everything that you do, I mean, the Model T wasn't bad, but it ain't a
yeah,
Tesla. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? So progress and make do so share the life. And I'm gonna leave Kyle, buzz us in and what they going on say.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So I love the state. First of all, I love that the fact that we have a department of festivals, right? That they seem to really take the job seriously. There was, for a long while after Daddy passed away, for the younger folks, Daddy's Daddy Friday. Okay,
Right.
everybody know him as Daddy.
Yeah, I
After
call
Daddy
him.
passed away, eh? How is it? How is it?
Me calling him no daddy, but you got it. See how they
I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna catch you. One of you know, yeah, all a cap. One of these days, you gonna be like, yeah, Daddy. I'll be like, ah, I get you. But anyways, Friday passed away, and they leave like a big void in the VA where Friday used to dominate Virginal's Carnival, dominated. Jamban used to dominate it. So when he left, now he left a big void, a big hole, a big set of shoes to fill. So I feel like where there wasn't a lot of pressure on the Carnival committee to deliver a quality experience for the village, now they had to step it up. And you could argue or you could debate if they were doing the best job within that they could have do to highlight our village or highlight our carnival. But nonetheless, the powers that be saw fit to create the department of festival, divisions of festival, and the department of tourism, and they're taking their job serious. I gotta give it to them. So anything you hear from us right now is just an observation of where things are and where we would like for it to be. Okay, and we open to suggestions. Anybody watching, if you want to jump on here and have the conversation and tell us, well, Kai, what you saying can't work because of this, or Red, what you saying can't work because of that, we welcome you with open arms. All right. All right. So we start from the beginning, from the Genesis. Carnival
right,
style. I was saying, okay, I love how the fact that we have these private parties, right? Because for the
right.
longest while, the only option you had for Carnival was jam. And if you ain't into the jam culture, ain't really get much for you to do. So Fort Fed kick it off. Right time of Carnival week. Fort Fed kick it off. It was an amazing event. The videos, the footage, everything from that day really, really, really I look amazing. I had one of them migraines out of this war rate, so I couldn't go. You know them how
For,
them thing that crippled me.
for
Huh?
forfeit?
Yeah, they make it forfeit.
What?
What they make it with son? Yeah, I went to my
Ain't
son's
no
soccer
food
game in Cruz. No, I ain't drinking enough water. You wanna know why I ain't
at
drinking enough water?
39 years.
You wanna hear something
You
funny?
still go
Why
through the
Kyle ain't
same
drinking
fuck
enough?
at 39.
You wanna know why Kyle ain't drinking enough water when I went to St. Croix at my son's soccer game?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Yeah,
ain't drinking
go
enough
ahead.
water because I was at my son's soccer game and nobody at the soccer game was selling water. Yeah,
Nobody
wait.
at nobody at the
Nobody
soccer.
at the soccer game was selling water, bro.
We don't want to walk down that road right now,
All right. So that to the point where I couldn't buy no damn water at the soccer game, and I didn't want to leave my son game to go get some water, so I end up dehydrated with a bad headache. But I ain't blaming St. Croix and the lack of water for my headaches. Okay, that's a conditional problem I had since I was young. Nonetheless, I didn't make it. I didn't make it to Fort Fit, but I text June and I talked to him and stuff, and but I had none but good reviews about it. You know. Um.
Yeah, what I told him is that this is the first year I only had one bad complaint. You know what I mean? And it wasn't something that he did wrong. It's a decision that he made because he forgot to do something. But I leave him address that when his time
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. So that kick it off that was really really good. Then we had the village. You know what I mean? The village going on was village. Village is dope.
Right,
Um. Then we had PTO. PTO was amazing. This
right,
the ambiance that event, well put together event, very well put together. Them girl Tenel them do a really good job with that. I couldn't go every place and everything. Um, we had endless summer. What else? I don't want to skip nothing. They had a bunch of events, man. Long story. What I try and say is, at the end of the day, there's a lot of private events. So therefore, the straining and festivals alone to carry our carnival. What I would
right,
like to see from the festive department of festivals, division of festivals, is them collaborating with the annual events for carnival, right?
right,
And they do to to an extent already. They do. But I want to see a further collaboration with them where on the festival's page when they're pushing USVI Carnival, they're pushing these events as well,
right,
right? And I feel like no, that could incorporate people that's like, okay, yeah, I see who you have in the village, but I ain't really want to go in the village and hear shalarangs, but I'd like to go to a really nice party where I could dress up and da 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 da. And if that's their determining factor as to if they can come on that, here are some other options. So I'd like to see that between the promoters and the um the divisions of festivals. So for me, and what I think on drop a lot, take up most of the conversation is Juve. I went to Juve, been to a lot of Juves all over the place. So I speaking from a place of familiarity when it comes to this subject. Okay. This year Juve was not it. Does that mean I didn't have a good time? Of course. I know everybody. I see everybody. I jump up with everybody. So when I post at Juve, we gotta do something to save Juve. That don't mean I didn't have a good time. I am looking at it from a perspective of our product that we are putting out to the wall. Because we putting this product out with hopes of people to come to the Virgin
right,
Islands for our carnival. So we
right,
have to make sure we putting our best foot forward. The people that from here that know everybody here that live here or even grew up here or whatever the case may be, we gonna have a good time. Music playing, my partner over there, my other partner over there, my friend here, we are going to have a good time. So I had a good time, man. It just was not a product that could compete with the other products in the world. We
okay.
have to keep in mind. Well, lastly, and I'm gonna let you go red. We also have to keep in mind too that our carnival is in April. You know who else carnival in April? St. Martin. St. Martin right across the street, eh? Right across the street. Their carnival in April. We gotta compete with them. Jamaica have a carnival in April too. We gotta compete with them. So we ain't just sitting down here looking pretty by ourselves. So we have to make sure we putting the best product out, especially if we want our numbers to continue to rise in this carnival market. Go ahead, Red.
Well, first of all, Angela Yee and Mano say the Juve was dope. Okay. So my question to
Correct.
you, if the Juve wasn't it, what are you looking for it to look like, for it to be it? Let's start there.
Dope, dope. Good question. So Angela E perspective was a perspective from sitting on top of a truck with 1,500 security around her, looking down at the people right there. But people that'll be on top of the truck, they gonna have a good time. You wrong all your people them. She come with her friend them, so they happy to be here in the Virgin Islands. Way I ain't even sure if that was a paid partnership where they got paid to come or whatever the case may be. She's having the time of her life. Somebody pay you to come here and enjoy their carnival. I enjoying it. Oh my god, my money, my check clear. This is lit, right? So when the people that wasn't paid to come, um, I feel like where I felt it felt where I feel it fell short was the quality of bands that were on the road. I don't feel it had
So,
enough bands.
so who were the bands that were on the road that wasn't quality? If you don't mind,
No, there wasn't enough. I feel like there could have been more. So I ain't
then
saying like there wasn't.
much more you need.
I wasn't saying it wasn't enough. It wasn't the bands that were there wasn't quality. So I know they had Exodus HD from Angola. I love them, man.
Okay.
Right? I know they had Blind Ears was on a truck,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, I know Pompa were on the same truck. I think Sato were on the same truck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we had a truck with Blind Ears and crew, right? Who else play?
So Sasso on the same truck with blindness.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's like
Sato ain't had a trucker he owned. Pompa ain't had a trucker they
okay.
own.
So that's
So
like
it's like all the
imagine and being on the
Jamban.
same.
Thank you, Daniela. Jamban what they too.
So that's like imagination and Jamban being on the same truck.
Exactly, bro.
But go
And
ahead. That's
Mandingo Brass. And
okay. So
Mandingo.
okay. So you
Because you're talking Blind Ness is a band by itself, you know.
right.
And then Pompa and my boy and Uncle
And
Sasso.
ain't nothing wrong with that. I just
No,
let
ain't
you
nothing
know.
wrong with it. But if I want to hear Pompa, I gotta wait for
Entertain
his.
and one truck.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if I want to come up the road with nothing, and the thing is, right, these man catalog so deep, all of them, they could be on their own truck, bro. So it ain't
Okay.
like they sharing a truck because of lack of catalog.
But
Pompa could fling. So Jamban,
Exodus,
Exodus, Blind Airs,
which is the collaboration as three.
and then the collab for the four. So Exodus Blind. Oh no shit. I don't say Blind Airs. So that's
That's
three.
three. The collab right. So they only had three truck on the road.
To my recollection. And some DJ trucks.
How much truck you need on the road? Band trucks
Okay,
you need.
so Blind Airs and Sasso wasn't on the same truck at all. That's what Mikel said. So
Okay.
let me know. Well, tell me. I that's who I saw. And I remember the reason I say that is because I remember Sasso performance or his snippet gang cut short because the ambulance were coming up the road and then I wasn't hearing Sasso no more. So if Sasso had his own truck, I didn't know about it. I highly doubt that's true, nowadays. But I don't think so. But nonetheless,
So
bro, is it a 3 or 4 bands on the road this year? Okay.
okay, four bands. But how much band you need?
How much bands I need? All right. So let's talk about it. So if what time Juve is supposed to start? Juve is supposed to start 4 in the morning.
Maybe the route too long, but go ahead.
The route long, you see?
Maybe too long.
I don't think the Revelers would say that. But it's supposed to start 4 in the morning. It don't start till about 7.
It should
If the
start. So
huh?
let me how we're gonna do. When you make a point, I'm gonna just
Yes,
rebut it.
four holes in it. There we go. Let's do it.
So I don't want it to start at 4. It's too dark. The police officers really can't see nothing. I come up in a time where people were getting run over from truck in the dark. People were getting stabbed in the dark. It's too dark.
Okay.
It's about safety versus custom. Now,
Mhm.
customary is started in the dark,
Yeah, I
right?
got you.
But
Got you. Okay.
I,
I-
and in the beginning, when it first started doing it during like when the sun come up, I was like, man, Juve was in the dark because I was so married to like what we're accustomed to.
yeah,
But as I get older, I start to understand what the safety issues of it
yeah,
was.
yeah,
People who just don't have nothing to
yeah,
give it, just throw it away.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
middle-aged people enjoying it,
yeah,
but only have young
yeah,
people on the road, head for
yeah.
sure. You know what I'm saying? So
So
that's I just wanted to interject
yeah,
that there.
I feel you.
Put
So even so, say start 7, right?
right.
Another complaint was the gap in between the bands was huge. Um, Safety for me, safety is paramount to anything. Safety, I rather be uncomfortable and safe than comfortable and unsafe.
Right.
So I could live with when the police when they're going up the road with a truck and they have you know what I mean have another truck coming down and they need some recoup time in between. So I could live with that. I could live with that. So
So Basically, we don't have 1,000 police officers at our disposal like New York, right?
Facts. Facts.
And I agree with the gaps in between the truck. I just think the gaps are too far.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
think our small island Juve and experience is the closeness in proximity to the competitors, which we get into later, which I call the competitors, which is the bands and the road. And I don't want them too close either, because
Mm-hmm.
that you know, 10 officers, 15 officers, 20 officers,
Yeah.
700 right there in a close between two trucks
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't want to have a good time behind blind airs, get my little 15 minutes, and then have to walk a half a mile, a quarter mile to get to Sasso to hear his vibes. Because I
Yeah.
want to hear both. I don't just want to hear blind airs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
both. And I think that is a part of the Juve that we kind of lost
Yeah.
due to. I'm wrong in them for doing it. I
Yeah.
feel like kind of find
Yeah.
that safe zone
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
stretched out, because it's still a product that we're selling to the wall, and we want
Yeah.
it to look a particular type of way to
Yeah.
when I watch Dominica Juve, right, the streets them so jam ram and pack, and I be I
That'll
want
give me anxiety. Miss.
but
Yeah.
from my perspective, like how I seen it, it's like, oh no, this is
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our bring out with all these gaps could take away from the vibe.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though we safety, it could be a little closer for sure.
But I do understand the safety precautions with that. So that is a hit and miss type of vibe where it's like, okay, if that's not something we willing to flex on due to safety concerns, I could live with that. If we gonna pay attention to other stuff. So for me, it had a DJ, it had some DJs on the side too. Um, but I feel the reason why I feel like it was lackluster, not because the bands that were they weren't quality, but for instance, if all them man that were on Blind Air's truck had their own truck, what? If there was a Poison, well, Uncle Sasso truck, if there was a Blind Air's truck, if there was a Pompa truck, you know what I mean?
That
So
four,
I just, yeah, right there and then that's 4 trucks.
no,
So
it had four,
even, yes, they had 4 trucks, right? But
Mikael just listening.
the
Mhm.
vibe wasn't there. So
Right.
no, remember when we old enough to remember, and I again, this is not a comparison, but how the Juve used to be, you would have Mandingo Brass or what they call it, my boy them man, that's Stanley, the one them from St. Milo
Mhm.
them will come up, you know what I mean, and a Mandingo, a Imaji, a Jam band, then a Synchroid band, and you know what I mean. So it's like we had Exodus, love Exodus, I love them, man. Love Exodus, but ain't how much our people here understand the Exodus vibe, you know, and this is why this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to get. If I was to put up Juve, a set of bands together on the road for Juve, it would be, I feel like we need to incorporate all the different Caribbean, not all, of course, can't be all, but the small island vibe. Because St. Thomas is a melting pot, right? Ordinary is a melting pot. So the same way
Right.
how we had Exodus, we could have had, say, a sugar band or a ultrasonic or whatever them sing Kit's band is, a sing Kit's band, right? We could have had a triple K with a Asa Banton. We could have had we could have still had Exodus, and then we could have bring it home with our truck filled with with VI bands. I feel like the vibe and the energy from that would have from each truck would have translate. You know, a conversation I had with one of with June, my promoter friend. We had a conversation about people putting together events and parties and not understanding the importance of building a vibe within that party. as opposed to just I gonna do a party and I gonna play this, I gonna hire this DJ and that DJ and put them all together and expect for the party to be built with the vibe that we needed to have. Right? So I feel like that was maybe that's why it was. The vibe wasn't built. It wasn't a energy vibe where it's like after you just had the time of your life with this band, you gone back up to the next band, had the time of your life with that band. It wasn't, yeah. You know what I mean? And I'd saying it like that because I ain't trying. Again, the bands did their thing in the way they knew how.
Yeah,
I
you
ain't
got
trying
China
shit on it.
feelings, and that'll be the issue. You don't have to. Kyle doesn't want to hurt any of you guys' feelings. This is why his name is Yin and my name is Yang. Okay? He is nice. Okay, that's how you feel. So let me say this here. If you saying the vibe wasn't there, who that build the vibes?
I know where you're getting at. You about to tell me the people of Bill vibe. I know
No,
that. I know.
well, and truly, the people that expand on the vibe that you're building on.
Yeah,
But I'm going to say to the public, and I'm going to say to you, and I've said this to you before. Juve, bro, in the Virgin Islands is the championship game. So let's say you have St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix Carnival. This is the triple crown. Like
yeah,
you in all year. And here's the next thing, right? When Friday sing, none of them can build tune like me.
yeah,
It's to the other bands, you know.
yeah,
When the other bands hear that, it's like, oh yeah. Vayo is like, oh yeah. The band in Tatola is like, oh yeah. That's all you going on? Okay, we're going to find out. The band in Tatola showing Jamalia, Vayo showing Jamalia, Jamban showing Jamalia. When Juve Manning come, we're going to find out who run the road.
rude.
Runner, not the crush runner, not the pair 22
Yeah,
runner,
yeah, yeah.
not the jamming Orlando runner. I am road. I run this road. So if my bandman them don't have this attitude towards each other, like here what going on? Okay, yeah, Blindness might have had most of the bookings, and we didn't had most of the bookings. Juve Manning, I going to showcase to the wall why this year coming up, we going to have most of the bookings because I looking to run the road.
Yeah.
Attitude. First of all, the attitude is somebody got to pay me to come on the road. When we were coming up to our middle age, nobody had to pay nobody to come on the road. Matter of fact, we waiting for Juve Manning to see when these two bands finally kind of catch up to
Match up to each other.
right
Facts.
there by the ballpark is when the
Yeah,
real passage is
yeah,
when the
yeah. Sad.
real
Yeah, yeah,
is is a problem.
yeah,
They don't have that attitude to
yeah,
be. They have an attitude like I don't fuck with that man don't fuck with me, and music is not a competition. That's for reggae singers.
yeah,
Music is a competition when it comes to band. In
yeah,
the always been and should always be. I like Sasso. I like Swanks. Just because are you having a musical clash don't mean
I
I
know.
choose. Matter of fact, when you clash, you choose the side of the people. Because in the Virgin Islands, we have prideful people. We want
Yeah,
something. St. Croix better than St. Thomas. St. Thomas better than St. Croix. Johnny Cake, pineapple tart, guava. That is just our makeup. It's competition. It
mm-hmm.
cuffs over this competition. It's just who God.
Yeah,
Feeling that vibe from now until St. Croix Carnival. It ain't gonna have no vibe to build. What are we
facts.
getting about? I got excited. I couldn't make it in them when I was a young. But my older sibling or my auntie them had the record boat ride or them. My only time to hear this free thing is Juve Manning.
Yeah,
So soon that CD or the one cassette and them and you gotta go. Hey boogie boogie boogie. Copy the set. I can't compete for Juve morning. It's them tune you couldn't hear from before, and you're going to hear new stuff as
Yeah.
Friday. And that, let me say, every time with that man, right? Imagination Brass wasn't no
Yeah,
clown, man.
well, you know slugs. Facts. They
These
were no
other
slugs.
wasn't no clown, man. Like,
Yeah,
a man just run.
yeah,
They wasn't relaxing.
yeah,
Like, people were applying pressure.
yeah.
No, every friend,
Friend.
yes, you
Yeah.
guys can't tell and Movado is friend. But they
Mm-hmm.
had to drum up the energy.
Yeah.
People, some people like the drama. How you know people like the drama? VI Outlet is the biggest page on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
When Honest post and VI consulting with the most likes and comments is drama and death. It is not what the senator say. I don't care about that. So we understand this about ourselves. So first step, I need the bandman to understand. I was talking about culture. Get rid of the Juve truck, the Juve troop, them culture. Do you understand what culture is? Culture is you build guys from north. Hey, listen, from here we might skip St. John and leave the small the young band them hold the road in St. John.
Mm-hmm.
But come St. Croix, between now and St. Croix, we join job because when the road touch St. Croix and here what going on, Swanks might win St. Croix because he's from St. Croix and we understand that. And
Yeah.
so on. And I said they have all that man. I don't want like guys in this country. This is just in me. Come St. Thomas now. Sasso going hold his hometown. If you end up in two us, you go get a road unless you're doing something crazy to make sure he don't get a road. But you have to have that in you
Yeah.
to want that competition, not shy away from it. Hey, I mean, and all of that ain't right now because, like, you know what I mean, you gotta be the oneness. And me, we want to hear that fucking. Me, I must come hear that oneness fucker I'm talking about.
That kumbaya. We want to kumbaya jam.
Me want to come over here. You got a woman, a place, and the other one asshole, loose tune. Your job is to make her get so wild that she forget I dancing and she don't care.
Yeah.
Because just having a blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
What that?
Yeah.
So if you ain't doing that, and I know I kind of talk too long with
No, you
if,
good. You went good.
if you ain't doing that, in comes a like me. Oh, I got beg you to deliver. Okay, so here what I going. I don't nothing about no band. I going to take my money. I going to gather up my homeboys, them Kyle, June, Javi, Wato, whoever. Hey, listen, we need to do a Juve troop. I went Miami. I do a name Fed Frenzy. I done I going on. It was people pay $10 to get in and still buy the troop. And I had three DJs and they were playing music from around the wall. I had a breakfast. I had free drink. Let's bring this here to St. Thomas. Let me see what's going on. Kaleidoscope had it already, but they got on fire. We need to fill this void. So
So
when I do
before we go there, let me
that,
talk about the birth of the Juve troop. Because I know some band man gonna push back
wait, I'm
as
gonna let you
far as
say, but let me just
okay,
want so
go,
wanted
go,
to
go, go, go,
and we
go, go.
fill the void so that it happened. That void filled because you didn't have any desire to run.
Mm-hmm.
I listen, if you in St. Thomas, right? And or Virgin Islands and you running the road, it don't matter who bring a Juve, you think a Juve troop could exist when
Yeah,
Jamban
no,
a
no,
Juve troop?
Juve troop. No.
No, because them one holding the road. And matter of fact, they might guess the Juve troop and that too in a song.
Mm-hmm.
You're encroaching. You have to have that desire in you to want to compete.
Yeah,
That vision and clash doesn't mean we're not friends. You could be
yeah,
a little,
yeah.
yeah, and I could shake hands and up and go and cruise and things together at the end. You could do that. You don't have to be Michael Jordan. You don't like anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be friends. You're
Yeah.
not doing you. Juve is you saying thanks to your fans for spending your money supporting us all year round and keeping food and that the promoter could cook us, knowing that we are going to bring you out and he going to make money, we going to eat a food and you going to have a good time. So I want to come on this show to tell you, first of all, I run the road, make sure they keep booking me, and thank you very much for supporting the cars. Let we go up the road now.
Yeah.
Yeah, up from the bridge all the way to the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
You tell you, "Hey, God, your foot hot and what you they saying, Juve? You are safe. You went village the next night afterwards.
Facts.
Back then, you might have to skip the village after Juve because
Yeah.
mash
They
you
need to
up.
recover. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You gotta
So
make me. You supposed to be the Pied Piper. You gotta
yeah.
make me. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
All right. So this is the part now. This is the intricate part now. This is the interesting
Right.
part. Because of old, the band them that was there with a give back. Go on the road, do Juve, run the route. Everybody hear your new tune. They used to hold tune and release them and Juve man. Or when they release them, they releasing them and saying, wait till we lose this here come Juve. When I play this Juve man, they gonna mash up the streets. You check, that was the energy back then, right? So they
Right.
had that pride that Redman talking about, where they want to run the road. So they used to put their money towards running the road. And that meant they investing in themselves to put their truck on the road and put their band on the road. Right?
Yeah.
So the generation after now, they started doing that. But then if you talk to them, they would say it had a few years where it had people fight and police done the Juve 9 o'clock in the morning. We lose a bunch of money on the road. And after the second year of doing that, me ain't going on the road unless I get a sponsorship that can cover the full cost of the road or government give me some bread to go on the road. So now the couple Juves after that now was very lackluster. And now somebody that was brilliant enough to say, hey, how
Mm.
about we get together and put a troop together where we just get some DJs to play and give the people some and start 4 o'clock in the morning since Juvic starting so late and we have the time of our life because it number one is dangerous and by the time if we start at 4 o'clock by 9 o'clock we done pet and we could go home safely,
Mm.
right? That was the thought process. It took off. It took off. Juve troops took off because I feel there was a lack of bands on the road. So the Juve thing gave birth to the Juve troop
Mm.
and it grew. So we have an intricate point in this Juve troop now because certain people moving away from it because after paying 2 to 3 years of being in a Juve troop and realizing I just pay $100 or something for an outfit and some food and some drinks and the man next to me in a old shirt and old pants with a Johnny cake in his hand and rum he bring from home, ain't had to pay nothing. And they listen to the same music I listening to and they jumping up in the same crowd I jumping up in, ain't making financial sense. So me gonna join next year. So we get into that pivotal point again where Juve troops kinda fading out and the band them ain't taking up the mantle like you talking about to have that pride to come on the road. So
Well,
what are we gonna do?
so okay. So let me address this real fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to use another example. June and for from that time, all it in Atlanta and home and up. You think like when he lose two, three times he stop? You think a mentality like you don't lose two, three times, I look jump. Or you'd you'd have never had the when people a lot of the people them that have come to your party them right to your jam right sometimes they have spend the last amount of money sometimes they have borrow from that to pay the so they could come and vote. So you lose. What happened?
Yeah.
Everybody from time to time. You don't want to lose. You lose and quit, or you lose and you say, we just take our L. Let it go. Run. See,
They lose and they put it back in the promoter hands. This is what happened. They lose, right? And they get so scared that they say, you know what, me want to lose again. So unless I get booked, me ain't doing it. So now
And
you don't even see a lot of them doing their own bookings, you know.
and
They
today,
still getting booked from promoters. And I don't even understand, like, I get this type of power that I could pull these type of people, but I still waiting for people to book. You want to pay. Go
because
ahead, man.
afraid to lose. But
Mm-hmm.
here's what: if you ask me to spend my money on a band that gonna give me one form of entertainment for 4 hours, right? You're going to sing your song them, and you might have some cover song, and you're going to sing all the way up the road. Or you're going to ask, or I could pick 3, 4 DJs for cheaper that have worldly music, like music out of Bouillon, Zouk, music from Trinidad, music from St. Martin, music from the
They're there
VI.
now. Mm-hmm.
They're going to play all kind of music. Avalanche going to entertain on the mic. Blink on the mic. DJ Kareem going to entertain on the mic. And they're going give me that energy for the little $5 to $1,000 I give them. And
Mm-hmm.
ones could hear music from all spectrums from the beginning to end. As an entrepreneur, I am not paying for the band. So
Yeah.
what I should bands to do was listen. Yes, when I was in Miami, people party with us for free. They had their own rum and their own beer, but it didn't take away from the vibes that the 200 people who joined the troop had.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't take away from the vibe because when you say troop, right, like it comes not only with the perks of um free drinks and food and entertainment, it's camaraderie,
Yeah.
togetherness.
Yeah.
Just saying that I was a part of something
Yeah.
that is appealing to human nature.
Mm-hmm.
Some they don't want to join and active. Or me and my go, we want to join this shoot, dance together with colors, and this is our Trump. This is our, you know what I mean? I think both could happen. So I would suggest that the bands, if you don't want to put yourself on the road, if you don't want to ask your truckman friend to put his truck on the road, the same truckman friend who that getting free to all your events because that's your partner, but you can't put your truck on the road for you for free. Jamban used to have a big U-Haul truck with their own song system in it, their own equipment in it. Okay, you don't have equipment. You didn't want to invest in that. Fine, you got to rent some equipment. The same man them that free, you ask them for equipment. But I would suggest that the bands do their own. They have listen, a Juve troop, tourism is not people are giving you money. They don't even give the most money. They have so many private entities here, from the hotels to the liquor dealers to Pueblo to Kmart. What you need to do is start impress upon them to start giving people money. Cause this you spend them all year wrong. Put your band on the road, put your team together, put your vibe together, build your vibe if that is the thing to compete with a Juve troop. But if you ain't gonna compete with a Juve troop, and if you ain't going to do a troop, then the only way to build a vibe back is you having the passion and the understanding that Juve is the championship game.
Same, yeah.
The championship game. This ain't the first game, the first round, the second round.
Mm-hmm.
This is for all the bulls.
Mahabos. Yep.
This is your ring from North Africa that your band mash up.
So let me give a little insight on the
Right.
conversation we had earlier. Right? So how I started the conversation, I was like, yo, the juvenile lackluster, you need help. They have a department called department divisions of festivals. Their
Right.
job to make our carnival experience as best as it could be.
Right.
So at the beginning of the conversation, we were just throwing ideas around. So I say, you know what? Maybe they not spend, if they're spending $1 million in the village, maybe they spend 800,000 and put
Mhm.
200,000 into paying the bands to go on the road. Right? That's what I said. Red was adamantly against that. He was like, no, don't pay them do nothing to go on the road because for the reasons he just said, like it have to be inherently inside of these man to want to go out there and really deliver on the road. It shouldn't be up to the government to come in here now to give these man money so that they could be on the road. Right? And me, I also small government. I ain't like the government telling me what to do. But I was to a place where it's like I seen that these man ain't moving fast enough to come together to put this thing on them, to put the band them back on the road. So maybe it might be up to the government. Red man were like, nah, even so, they could probably have some type of oversight, maybe give a sponsorship or whatever the case may be, but to just pay these man to go back on the road, that's not helping the deeper problem, which is the lack that they have for giving back and making sure that they understand that the Juve is the championship game, the game 7, all the marbles. So hopefully now, what I hope to get out of this conversation is that a lot I talked to a man, one of our I don't know, my partner. He went in Trinidad a year and he just got brought out on the stage by Nadia Batson just to sing a little snippet of his one song. And that one snippet of him being in front of all them people, some government officials from some other island hear him and were like, hey, we want he. They asked how much song he get, what song he sing, come sing that song. That brought a lot more bookings, which brought a lot more bookings. So I'm saying all that to say the band man them. Because I know I ain't gonna hear this fuck about coming out of our pocket and investing in the band them because I probably don't do it before and you get born. I understand. I understand. I understand. It's not a good feeling, right? But you have a crowd of over 5, maybe 10,000 people you have access to. They have access to every single thing that come out your mouth. Companies are going to pay for that type of access, guys. So I don't really think you gotta come out your pocket like that. Get with somebody, a good consultant that could get you that sponsorship, so I could get back on the road and I could continue to gain. But
So
just
let me
sitting
look
it
at
out, ain't it? Go ahead.
putting a ban on the road for Juve is expensive and these businesses ain't up in sponsorship like before. These businesses have huge money at individuals, but between people get 5, 6 sponsorship, I'm telling you, people do it all the time. And you're not spending, it's not about getting sponsorship so you don't spend your own money. It's about getting sponsorship to alleviate some of the money that you have to spend. So don't go into the sponsorship game thinking I will cover all my expenses. You're not. It's only there to alleviate how much you might spend. So let's just say it might cost you 7,000 to put a banner on the road, and 4,000 in sponsorship, 3,000 left to you between you and your bank. Listen, bands that charge $5,000, $6,000, $3,500 to party now. 25. The guy booked 10, 15 times out of it. You gotta pay bills. Everything you say, if the promoter gotta do go through the same thing the bandman gotta go through. He gotta pay his bills, he gotta invest in his portion of stuff, he gotta do all them things too. And he's still finding a way to go parties together. And then have to risk losing. But what you saying is you don't want to risk losing for the people them that you want all year, that support you all year wrong. You ain't want to risk a L. You don't think they're going to support you, Juve man. You know what I'm saying? And that's up to them. I ain't forcing them to do nothing. No.
So no, go.
Go
Well,
ahead.
let me just say this before you go. And also, guys, you remember Red when we were young and we were going. We were. You just said it. We were too young to get in the jam them, but
Right.
we were old enough to go Juve. So when we in the Juve and we hearing jam, but who my next favorite band gonna be? This band that on the road mashing up the place. This is your introduction to the younger generation that may not be able to come to our event them in Crush, come to our event them in Pier 22. This is the people them that will listen to us for the next 5, 10, 20 years that are you refusing to give that access to. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, again, my consensus was we can't wait for these men to do what we hope they would do or what we feel like they should do. I feel like it was time like that. If we don't act fast enough, us as a government, our thing will go to the dogs. And we can't have that. And well, last thing, and I'm gonna let you go, Red. I see a lot of talk about villainizing Juve troops. We got to get rid of the Juve troops, and the Juve troops saved Juve for the couple, like wherever there was a stretch for like 3, 4, 5 years with no trucks on the road but Juve troops. And now we're villainizing them again. If these bands were out in numbers, you think anybody going to pay for a Juve troop? So we all know where they come back around to. We want more bands on the road that to really run the road and really understand the responsibilities of running the road. And now for that to happen, they have to want to do. Go ahead, Ray.
So before we get to solutions, let me add one more piece, and I want to make sure the people them understand and say, Virgin Islands people, you are not vibes. Okay? When you look back and everybody that be like, oh well, the past is the well, the past is the past is if what happening now is working. But if what happening now ain't working, the past is now a reference and not just the
Mhm.
past. So let's get at it straight. This is not an
Yeah.
old. I want Juve too. Okay? So if you 17 years old, I was 117 in a Juve, and now I 40 in a Juve. You're going to be 40 in a Juve. So it's not an old hair thing, it's a people thing. Understand this here. When you look back at them pictures at Juve and St. Thomas, it had a room for somebody to stand up someplace and take a picture of themselves.
Hmm.
No.
Hmm.
Had no time for that. No, Juve is who can wear the best Juve outfit. You know what Juve was? Juve is like, I need an old shirt and an old pants and some shoes that don't hurt my foot, and we up the road. Man and woman. I can't remember a woman in a Juve looking like a sweet thing other than she pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just have one big shot and pants and it's up the road. Okay, you don't want to wear that, that's fine. You want to get your army straps and whatever it is and no topless and only stuff covering your TT and your bum hanging out and your pussy printing, fine. It's a free country. But you ain't having fun. You just here to take pictures to say I was there. And that is not what Juve is about. Here what going on with Juve. You see, when we went to Jam, we had looked good. Yeah, we going to sharp up enough. You know, even if we broke, we from the ghetto, so I got on a whitey, some good jeans and some shoes. I ain't got nothing crazy, but I sharp, my hair comb, that's Jam. I tell people all the time, right? My favorite event in the entire year is Miami Juve. If you catch me in a Miami Juve, you're not going to recognize who I am, you know, because I loose, I full of rum, and I don't care what going on around here. You know. I having a time. That is what Juve is. Juve is a reveille where you ain't worrying about nothing going on in the war right now. I gonna release all this stress now. We having a blast. Now, when you look at Juve, you get people watching other people on the side to see how they look. You get people in there like this, having a time and fine.
So
Take your
so
picture. You just take a picture down by the bridge. Then you take a picture at the park. Then you go in what park. Then you take a picture. Then you take another picture of Fort Christian. What are you doing? We can't have fun like that. Matter of fact, Juve should be like Las Vegas. Leave your phone wherever happened in Juve, stays in Juve. And if you wasn't there, you wouldn't know, and you better pray consortium catch a glimpse of it. You know. This is what Juve is supposed to be. That is the culture of Juve. Now people are changing certain customs, which is fine. Having bands versus having troops is customs. Juve is the culture. Now, I
That
don't
was
think the
fire.
people as we currently know them, they don't have that jump up vibe.
That was a
They think
fire bar. Um, you troops is a custom, Juve is a culture. I like that. But I want to say too, right? And
right,
this is what me and Red we were talking about that because I do understand things evolve, things start to look different after a
right,
while, right? The way how we were Juve in our heyday, my mother them were in Juve later, and
right.
their mother them were in Juve later, right? So we we have to keep that in mind as well as we go far. 'Cause we don't want to be the old man them and decide telling them children, you know what I mean? Right now we living at social
Oh
media
yeah, but
world.
listen, guys, lead them do what they want. In their generation, it's flapping. So if you don't tell them what to do and you don't listen to the old head, that's fine. Your thing flapping. You
Yeah,
don't have. I have. I have memories you don't have, and we have
exactly.
to help you gain the memories we have. So if you don't want to listen to us, don't listen to us. But I know for sure I stand up in a Juve for 40 minutes and the truck them ain't move because they couldn't move. It had too much
But
people. They
so
had
they never experienced that. So we have that to compare that to. So this is their norm. This social media world they live in is their norm. Where if it ain't happen on social media, it ain't happen for real. So it gonna start to look different. And how we saying that thing flop, guess how they feel? This shit lit. So that's the part where I say,
dude
huh?
they saying that they crying about Juve.
Yeah, I guess, buddy. But that's a whole.
Them.
I just wanted to say that part there. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
we speaking from a place of just being old man telling the young people and what to do. We speaking from a place where we know what it was and what it could be and what it is. So
right.
maybe just maybe it's certain carnivals and jewels I've been to in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, pull out your phone if you want to. Pull out your phone if you want to lose it. Pull out your phone if you want to get drunk in water and paint. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So say what to back up what it is you say. Yes, that could be that's part of it, man. Like the whole vibe, the culture, the whole energy. And that's why I say like the energy wind it. So I a solutionist, man. So I don't want to know how we to fix things. I had a
Mm-hmm.
friend, an old friend of mine, old girlfriend of mine. She used to come venting to me all the time about what's wrong. And I'd be like, okay, yeah, I hear you. Okay, so how we gonna fix it? And she just like, would you just listen to me vent? And I like, that don't make no sense. That's dumb. Why we just talking about some shit instead of trying to fix it? Right? So that's my thing. And that's why I kind of read. I'm like, oh the fuck, how do we fix this here? You know what I
Right.
mean? So what we gonna do, take some questions. You want to get into a few other suggestions we had talked about
Yeah, we
earlier,
could
right?
get because when they question them come pass and I'll
Yeah,
pass you.
okay. So
We could
we
get it.
we were talking about it. One of my suggestions, like I was saying, is like divisions of festivals need to get involved at this point. They need to like really like ready like that. They need to like really like being a are you in charge of carnival and this supposed to be our championship game, our game 7. We can't leave it up to them man to do the right thing. At this point in time, our thing suffering. If we paying influencers to come here to experience this fuck, we gotta give them something worth experiencing instead of hoping and waiting for these man to give them something worth experiencing. That's what my mindset was. Red in with that shit. Red was like, nah, these man have to want it, yada yada yada. My thought process is while we waiting for them to want it, the product is suffering. So how do we fix it? So I was saying maybe incentivize them man, whereas instead of just giving them man money to go on the road, we give them an incentive. Red thing is, Red want these man to give back. The people them have been supporting you all this time, all these years, for the whole year. It's 7 are you in a not 7, maybe 5 are you in a band, 4 to 5 are you. Come on. Put this on for the people. That's how Red feel. Me, I understand in these we could want that, but it's up for them man to do it. And if them man feel like dying something they want to do, so we at a standstill, guys. Like we ain't doing that. I should do it. Yeah, we ain't doing it. You should do it. Yeah, we ain't doing it. The product is suffering. So I was like, well, maybe we could do something where it's like festivals give them some money to go on the road, but they have to complete like some sort of community service. Like how we were in high school where you had to do 100 hours of community service in order to graduate. You could get all A's, but if you ain't give back to the community, you ain't graduating. Maybe that's something they could implement. Where they say, listen here, we would sponsor XYZ amount for this troop, and this troop to go on the road this year. But I have to give back to the people by doing this, and this, or this amount of, I don't want to even say free, but this amount of community service, whatever that may look like. But I just feel like they ain't doing it and we waiting for them to do it. The product is suffering. People say, yeah, that was alright, but me ain't going back. And we live in a social media world where all the tickets for one to two influencers to get up there and be like, oh, I went to St. Thomas Carnival and the Juvé were garbage. And no, you got a group of travelers that's like, you know what, me ain't going. I gonna sit this one out. Give me your thoughts, Red.
Okay, one, I would never really diss our carnival on social media because I really want people to come to the Virgin Islands. You know what I mean? So, not to say I won't have an opinion, they can't. But this is what I would say to you. Yes, the bands that get paid to perform in the village, but this is what I would say to you. The only way I could see, and let's just say I run in the regional festivals, right? So I'm going to speak from the perspective that I run in the regional festivals. The only way I could see me giving money to bands to play for Juve is if they're in control of their own situation, right? And I have a liaison that will consult with them about the expectations and the quality product that they put in on the road as a troop. Okay,
Mhm.
a band, not me giving you $5,000 to cover your fees so you could go on the road when you supposed to be saying to yourself, I doing this here for the people that are put money. Kyle, you did code, right? Okay, so that means you took money from people from several well billion dollars. You took money from people to help them build their credit, and then you turn around, spend your money with a couple sponsors involved that will help you, and it ain't always monetarily when you get sponsors, Kyle. It's service sometimes. I know how much money you come out of your pocket for Code Red, but that was your give back to the
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
If you could come online and beg people to listen to your music, beg
Fact.
people to your show, beg people to pay promoters money to see you, then why is it so hard for you to say, you know what? I love how they that defend me in the comments, you know. I love how they that stand for Sasso. I love how they that stand up for blindness. I love how they that stand up for Shy AP. I got you this year. Announcement made. We running the road this year. Come behind of us. No, if you don't have that in you, fine. If it don't sound financially viable to you, fine. But the only way I giving you money is if you are putting a product on the road that the division of festivals, in conjunction with tourism, could sell to the public and people abroad to entice them as a reason. When I spend my money at division of festival, and we talk about this, and I'm going kind of like jump this way and jump back this way. I said to you, Kyle, I don't give a shit who performing in the village. Okay. When I go to the village, I don't even know who in the village. First of all, my eyes looking around to make sure none of my girl them don't catch me. That's number one. So I don't have no time to be paying attention to anybody on the stage. That's the first thing. The second thing, I full of liquor, smoking ganja, and I having a good time right here by medic booth, standing. I good. Everybody passing here. I could hear the music. I mingling. I shaking hand. I giving hugs. We conversating. We catching up. We taking pictures. The village is a place where we congregate after a long year, fiscal year of having hard work, and your
We
children,
deserve a party.
right?
But
Are they having fun? They come, they run over for some money, you give them some money, you send them back about the business, you're back to the adult situation. You get a woman them who's sitting down in their chairs watching the entertainment, which to me should be local entertainment. The $60,000 you give Shabba Ranks, the $50,000 you give Massacre, I don't need that. What I would do in competition with other places like Jamaica, because when you go Jamaica, you get 1,600 parties to go to. When you go St. Martin, you get 10,000 parties to go to. When you go to Trinidad, you have. I would say, you know what? Let me find my top 10 promoters or anybody that want in the promotion game. We're gonna one by one, we're gonna have a meeting and a discussion about your party, how you run it, how it's involved, where it could improve. Let my team assist you with improving your decor, improving your security, improve so that then I could give you money towards bringing a big act. And all I don't have to have a party on the same day. I could give you money. So PTO have a big act, Fort Fet have a big act, Mimosa have a big act, so Camilla Elements have a big act. And once I could get at it and them to meet the division of festival standards of the type of party and vibes we want to have in the Virgin Islands, then I could then market that as my carnival flyer. Yes, it's going to have Brassorama in the village. Yes, it's still going to have um the Heritage Nights,
Yeah.
American Heritage Night, but those are for bands, not
Mhm.
acts, right? And yes, it might have a reggae night, and that's for local people like Pressure and all the reggae people them coming up. This incentivize the local population who's into music. This is your championship. You got to work hard to get on this stage, and we're going to pay you that premium carnival price. And then we're going to put the big act, help the promoters book these big acts. So I could then put on the flyer and say, this is my carnival night. And this is also the big parties that the Division of Festivals and Tourism endorse, that we could help them promote to the world to encourage more people to come to the Virgin Islands, because there was a time where there was nothing to do other than band jams. And a
Mhm.
band hole in the wall in the dark where you turn them could hide and walk up and do all the things them they don't want you to see.
Mhm.
That's what you
Yeah.
understand.
I
I
feel
would
you.
take, and then it would afford me more money to either invest in Juve troops or bands on the road. But the bands on the road have to provide an experience, not just the music. You have to provide an experience, because if I using the people's money, if I using the government, first of all, you know me and you believe you're supposed to pay to get into the village,
Yeah.
because spending $5 million and you ain't making nothing. No, sir.
Yeah. That don't make no sense.
Plus, come into the village, gate it up, one no security, nobody
And
guys.
guess what? Nobody ain't getting shoot. Nobody ain't dying no more.
God
That
rest this
alone. That
alone.
alone, brother. I don't and
Okay,
that and remember your thought process. Let me just say this. Remember what you're
go
gonna say,
ahead.
Red. I then I advocate for charging a little $5 again in the village. If you can't pay $5 to come here, Shaba, come here, Buju, come here, this person here, that person here, massacre, and all, you can't pay $5 again. You need to make sure that this place section off. So these man, nobody can come here with no gun and no knife and nobody. If we do 4 carnivals straight without somebody dying, and then at the 5th carnival, a man dead, we just set ourselves back 5 years. So I don't
Right.
want to hear about it for with nobody dead. Somebody dead this time. So we hoping and praying and wishing that these people do the right thing. Section it off, fence it off, put an entrance control point in there. Everybody getting search going inside. You leave to go outside to give your mother some food. When you come back inside, guess what? You're getting search again. Real talk. And I feel like that is necessary to keep our things safe. I would be uncomfortable if it ensures that I'm going to be safe. Go back to what you were saying, Ray.
Right. So, like I say, I only giving these people money if they can show me the experience. And when I say experience, right, I want you, you see, let's take PTO for example. PTO market their party and promote their party in a visual way on the radio and on the internet, that a government entity like myself could take up their promoting
Yes.
and help promote at the same time. Business of giving body any if I can't. how it works. So if I
But
give you $5,000 to go on the road, your reason for not going on the road is people fighting, it done all the, I lose my money, and they get troops on the road. So then when I give you the money, that it don't go away. People still fighting and they still get troops on the road. So then why give you the money for?
yeah,
And I ain't saying that they have to come up with a reason, I'm saying that we together, you, the band, and me, Division of Festival, would sit down and go over your business strategy. I will have my promoter consultants or whoever I need to have in the room to, because we all win when everything is promoted properly.
properly. Facts.
Pick up the phone and say, Tenel, you have time to come on this meeting here on Tuesday. I have a meeting with Blind Airs and I want some experience promoters who have accomplished things and meet the standards that we have. And can you help liaison with me to help them put something together to present on the road to Juve that I could then market and go in front of the Senate and justify why I
Yeah,
spent. I need to
yeah,
justify my boss, Boschelte, why I giving you this money.
yeah,
And it got sense because just like when Kyle presented his situation to me, Boschelte is going to ask me 1,000,001 question, but what we giving these people this money for? Okay, well, money because we see there's a problem with Juve and kind of nudge it along a little bit so we could get back the ambience because that's a big part selling point for our carnival. And we have the bands them doing their own specialty type of troop, and this is how they're presenting it. And we are satisfied with their presentation because we could also use this presentation. We could, if 5 bands come up with 5 teams, we put on a flat big collage, then I could sell that. I could
hmm,
sell 5 things to you might be selling as a band individually, but me festival who just give out was 5 times 5, $25,000. I could put on a flyer and say the biggest Juve in the Caribbean, with the biggest bands in the Caribbean. I
yeah,
could
yeah,
right, and I might go get back half of that money through tourism and people
yeah.
coming because people now sell this. So I ain't giving you $5,000 in sponsorship just so you could put
Just so you
yourself.
could put yourself on the road now.
Nothing else going on other than you on the road doing the same thing when you're on the road for free. This is not charity.
Yeah,
This communism. I know I like China and Timu and all these things that get things cheap. It's because it's communism. This is a capitalist
yeah,
Western
yeah.
and their money in taxes. That money is allotted to tourism. They expect tourism and division and festivals to invest that money to help the carnival look a certain way so they could have a good time and also attract people to come and pour money territory, whether they was homegrown and they went away or they never been here before.
Facts. So when you say a Juve, 5 different band, you see a Uncle Sasso with an army fit for his band, an army theme. You get Sha HP with an all black. You know what I mean? So now you have a whole experience that you, the Department of Festivals, invested in. So now you could add this here to your marketing strategy to get more people here.
And so let me add this last ending part to my Juvis suggestion. I think either the 5 bands or the 2 bands with the ticket crowd. I don't know how I will be able to tell this. Maybe that be a discussion. I think them 2 bands should end. This is the first solution. Them 2 bands should end in the village. 2, 3 bands should end in the village. That truck should be able to roll in the village and clash it up.
Hmm.
Is a enclosed area that's easier for each to maintain. It's
Yeah,
not a,
yeah.
so that's the end of my solution number 1. You could give your solution.
Okay. So I like that. So basically, I've been an advocate for sectioning out the village, and if you ain't want to charge people, that's between I. I would pay $5 to get in, and that way you're searching everybody, but still, you need to be sectioned off and such. I get PTSD. I get anxiety. I'd have been there with a bunch of people walking in front of me, behind of me. You ain't know who get to from who ain't get to. Before 9/11, anybody could have just walk on a plane and hope for the best. 9/11 happened, and now everybody's shoes got come off, hat got come off, belt got come off. I good with that. The man behind me, his hat coming off too, his shoes coming off too. Okay, cool, let me go. Everybody, I can go on the plane and sleep because ain't nobody here equipped to try stab up nobody or shoot up the plane. So that's
Right.
number one. So if that's the route we taking where the village is now enclosed, we have situations where man get killed in the village. RIP to the fallen. Right? Juve, they have fights in Juve. You know what I mean? We ain't had somebody dead in Juve in a long time. Thank God for that. But no, you could imagine if, like you just suggested, we have some of the troops them on the road, and then we have the big troop them, maybe one or two big troop in the village are ready to go. So after you come up the road with this person here, you end in the village with this big troop, and you finish off the Juve right there in the village. That's a suggestion that could happen or could not happen. We could keep it on the road. The details, we could do all of that. My biggest thing was the conversation need to start happening as to why it is and how it is. We could fix this thing because the thing need fixing, right? So I like US VI divisions of festivals coming in and saying, listen, we would give you this sponsorship, but this is what we require from you. Not just giving you money to just be on the road. I need you to provide an experience for the patrons. I have to justify me paying taxpayer money for I to come on the road and do all of this outside of me providing I the police force, providing I you access to the ambulance, providing all these different stuff that the government already taking up the cost for. But I feel like that conversation need to happen. I feel like also to back up what you say, we need to tap in and lean in more to the promoter them. And what I mean by that is the man them that been out here doing events 3, 4, 5 years consistently for Carnival. The Mimosa Sundays, the Ford Fets, the PTOs, the drip or drones, the endless carnivals. And if I forget you, please forgive me. I ain't, you know what I mean? But them
Right.
people that's shown consistency to their product that they've been putting out for consistently for the past at least 3 years, reward them. So now pull them in, everybody. Listen, and the beautiful thing is the foundation done set, you know. You ain't gotta get creative with this thing. We don't know Sundays this, Mondays that, Tuesdays this. You bring everybody in together and we sit down at the table, a round table, and say, this is your day. This is where we are dedicated. This is your day. So you have our support for this. This is what we expect. This is what we would like to see. Likewise, this is what we would expect. This is what we would like to see, and do it that way to the point where now, when we push in our USVI tourism product and our carnival product, we incorporating these events that's been here for the that's proven events, because that's what they are. If they've been here for 3, 4 years consistently, they prove it.
Right.
The people like it. So and the promoter showed you that consistency. So let's bring them in, give them the tools that they need so they could continue to thrive, and your carnival product could continue to thrive. So once we're doing that on that front, we need to do that same approach when it comes to the Juve, in my opinion. I don't feel like a blind ears at that Uncle Sass, a Pumper, or a sister. All of them need to be on the same truck. No, no, no. Them all them man great in their own right. Get them not get them a truck, but they need to have their own truck where these man now they could be on the road and we could bring some of that pride back, that road pride that we're talking about back, because now every year these men understand that this is the requirements to end back up on the road. If you ain't so now if we gain you this and we have these expectations and you ain't want to take part, then you just want to be on the road. You check, and the people that do take part, they're gonna be on the road. They're gonna have access to these thousands of people on the street. They're gonna have the backative of the USBA divisions of festivals where we could push their stuff and push whatever it is they get gain on. But I feel like it's time for that conversation to happen. Is my idea the best one possible or Red on the best one possible? No. I'm sure the conversation needs to start so that therefore we could come by next year or by St. Croix Carnival. We figure this thing out so that therefore we could save our product, man. Because just sitting wrong and not doing nothing and saying, oh, it's his fault, or it's their fault, it's the band them fault, is the Juve troops fault, is the people fault. No, 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 no. We gotta figure this shit out. Gotta figure it out and save this product, or else we're gonna lose it to one of our competitors. You know what I mean? So
Well, I ask for solutions, but I just want to make it very clear. I ain't like, listen, man. Why you in a band for?
mm,
You in band because you love it and you find out you can make money, or you in band because you can make money and know you love it. Because I need you to love being on the road. You understand? I need you to love being on the road. Yeah? I need you to love us back the way we love you all year round. That's what I need you to do. And 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 and, and if we incentivize them, and the reason why, let me tell you something. And a person may be like, well, okay, well, Ray, man, you're one of your friend them is the biggest promoter, so you're just pushing a thing for promoters. Let me tell you something. You see, when we do look jam, you know how much people that employ when we get money, you know how much it don't just go to our pocket alone. We that lose.
yeah,
But you know how much people we that employ with the money that we get and our own money for forfeit, for PTO? You know how much people they have security that costs a lot of money. They have the people who that build the stage that costs a lot of money. They
sound
have the song people them that costs a lot of money. The bartenders and the service girls, that's another change. The cleanup is another change. The fees for the venue is another change. So it's not like we taking the money and pocketing it because we put there's so when I suggest that, look, if the bands them don't have the energy to get on the road, even after you try to tell them, look, we're going to help you organize your thing so we could promote your thing for the Juve, then I'm going to turn my eyes to the promoters.
facts.
Because I know when I give my money to the promoters,
They're
the
gonna do what they do.
that I people could stand on the fact that I gonna make some money this year here between these 7 parties. My battle girl service or different battle girl gonna make a $500-600 for the season. Matter of fact, I can pay back for my carnival troop just working for the season. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why, to me, if you give money to bands, it have to be structured in a certain type of way. But you have to have that love to want to give back to the people, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to have that thing inside of you.
And it can't be conditional. It
That
can't
thing is
it can't be conditional. It can't
no,
have a time period on it. It can't be a situation where I do it a year and it work out for me.
no,
I,
no, no.
I give back. I wanted to give back this year, but I get burned. So me never giving back again.
Yeah, no,
That
no, no,
can't be it.
no, no.
It got
But
to be
said,
innately
that's why
inside of
we're gonna
you.
run. That's why we're gonna run into the problem when we incentivize it. When a person could
Yes.
decide
Yes.
that up it is up to
But
them,
it's dangerous to incentivize. And I understand your
correct?
argument. I get it.
Right.
I get it. But at the
No,
same time,
with you when you say we have to find a solution,
yes.
because no matter how we feel about it, we have to preserve
Yes.
this culture. This is not custom. So we
Yes.
have to preserve this culture. Now the
Mm-hmm.
culture within the culture is different. Listen, it bands and for the 90s,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? So they had the first Juve, they had a Juve that's culture. Now what's customary, the Juve might change over time. And we would want the bands to be a mainstay because that's the pinnacle of the culture. That custom day is have proven to be the pinnacle, and the reason we know is the pinnacle is because we're witnessing the decline to know that this was the pinnacle. So
Yes.
yes, we want to preserve it, but these man in band have to have that deep, they have to have that thing inside of them that say,
Yeah.
listen, road
Yeah.
a check is all year round. People sending their children to jam, people going to jam, people going here, people going there. If the bands create mass is around their nature, I promise you, them alone could make people come home for carnival.
Yeah.
The band's attitude towards the music alone, just towards the culture of, oh, yeah, me, we got this thing, and
Yeah.
it make, listen, you know, that kind of really make me come back to St. Thomas culture. And I don't know if this is true, but when listening to the music, a song like Sasso was showing Cha Cha Jugu, and a song like Jugu was showing Cha Cha Chato. And I was excited for that because I will see Sasso and I love Sasso. I giving him a hug and adapt. And
Yeah.
I doing it
Yeah.
competitiveness and I the vibe up. The
Yeah.
vibe up. When is the
Yeah.
next show? Because I want to be there.
Yeah.
Because I hear long time me sing a big tune.
Yeah.
Jugu clap back.
Yeah.
Even if the line and they say to me
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
that is a
Yeah.
competition. Listen, let me tell you something about virgin culture. Hordes that compete, schools that compete against each other, food that compete against each other, baking that compete against each other.
Mhm.
Carnival, where the one of uh, island, three of us. So we always, no matter how you want to spin it, it would never stop. No, mine were better than yours. No, yours. It's a brotherly, it's a sibling rivalry that is embedded in our nature from time they make us together as three islands, six islands, including the British Virgin Islands as well. It is a competitive thing within us. Ken versus Anthony's versus.
Yeah.
It is that is just how, and you have to, and that nature, it brings out the best in us.
Yeah.
It brings out the, listen, Pooch had loved Vayo.
Mhm.
Vayo bring out the best in Jamman, and Jamman bring out the best in Vayo. That
Fuck.
combination of who have found.
Yeah. You know when I start listening to Sugar Band?
When Vayo come, when what damn, I forget my bedroom name. Vayo rhythm backs.
Daddy Jones.
When Daddy Jones hit the scene, I ain't gonna lie to you. Well, I was scared.
We
At time,
were nervous. We were a little nervous, yeah.
yeah, because he way and sing, and he
Yeah.
got in ghettos defending him
Yeah.
against some who love the band and St. Thomas, and he have
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
band
I tell you, yeah. I ain't
and
start listening to Sugar Band till them man come out with a song named Rubber Band. And they gonna bust the Rubber Band and they call Jamba name. Who's so crazy to go against the great Daddy Friday? What,
listen.
man?
I forget
That
all about
raised their profile. That
time, but
raised them on profile. They got
this
different
is what
level
I
of
tell you.
respect.
And here's the thing: we such a melting pot. The Dominican band. Listen, one thing I want her to understand, right? They have a lot of Dominicans, Kititians, and in the Virgin Islands.
Facts.
So the Dominican band could get licks too.
Yeah.
They, and they could,
Nobody safe.
however,
Nobody safe.
even look at the word is small island culture now.
Yeah.
They open us up to St. Martin and Dominica and other small islands around us. Is that now we have our own little regional rivalry
Yeah. Yeah.
thing. Because I
Yeah.
still gun brother, but I have VI pride. Like he get Dominican pride, and that's okay. Bring
Yeah.
the Dominican up the road
Yeah.
for St. Go and see what going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the clash so big, guess what I open up the door to do? Bring the St. Thomas band to Dominica. And guess who
Facts.
going to follow? born to Dominica. St. Thomas people
People.
want the blind hairs in Dominica defending us on the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
We make it, and then you have so it just you have to have that Michael Jordan in you. They like
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
You check, they coming up short in the fourth quarter. They don't
Yeah.
have they have to have that thing. And I ain't seen it. I ain't seen
Yeah.
it.
Facts. 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 And like I just say, if you have a carnival troop, you should put your band on the Juvé rope. So
Mm. Wait. Okay, so you mean like the person who running a troop should then pay more money to pull. No, I could see it,
yeah.
because because what I would say is I open my ticket for my carnival troop because then I making the band who playing for me, that's my Juve troop as well. So I having
Yeah.
a Juve and a carnival troop, and then you buy your ticket with me. You have the package for the Juve and you have your package for the carnival, and I gonna lump it all in one. But I really don't think that should fall on those entrepreneurs.
Yeah. 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 And then again, the thing that dangerous with the troop, as much as we say it's camaraderie and all of that good stuff, it's risky business because now you can't block off the road. You can't stop people from coming in your Juve troop.
And
So,
and that's why they should come on for free, because St. Thomas Juve is a free Juve. Miami
mhm,
Juve, and I don't see nobody complaining about Miami Juve. I
facts.
don't see nobody being listen, they have a troop from Trinidad named Red Ants, my boy. You don't
Yeah.
think that people know that they could go and pass through Red Ants for free? Them
Yeah.
people buy package because it is now, it's like I was part of Red Ants this year.
Yeah.
Vibes, and the truck
Yeah.
was big, and they
Yeah.
had four on the truck, and they
Yeah.
had the events, and they had
Yeah.
avalanche. Okay, so here's the thing now. As a Juve troop, you know what you could do? As a Juve troop, as a band, you could do. First of all, you start your own troop, and then you go and get a big DJs to play Ollie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Thank
come win one message. And it turn
Yeah.
on. You see what I'm saying? Make
Yeah.
following your thing an experience. If you don't want to make it an experience for me,
Facts.
approaching the culture, then
Mm-hmm.
you gotta make it an experience for me.
So yeah, I like this discussion because I feel like it's gonna be the start of a lot more discussions for the powers that be to have. You know what I mean? But
Right.
everybody gotta get on the same page, man. Like the band man, them we need you to
Right.
really get that fire back within I. You know who had, and I don't want to start like that, but I remember Shah had a tune named 6 Feet Under, where he
Right.
send them boys six, and he was calling my name, boys, eh? Yo, I go there. You know what I mean? And I was a big fan when that song come out, I clapping my hand, I'm like, yeah! Got this
That's
young
what we
boy
want.
going after all of them, man.
That's what we want.
That's what we want. That's what we want. But now it becomes so kumbaya. You know what I mean?
So what?
The last big hype we had like that were really, bang bang. You know what I mean? But
Listen,
if it ain't consistent, man,
listen
you know
to
what I
me.
mean? Mhm.
Is my right hand,
Yeah,
and is family. You don't think you have that competitiveness in you to make sure that you come up to snuff for forfeit when you know PT you're following you in a couple days? You
exactly.
fucking half ass it for forfeit when
Yeah.
you nail in.
Ain't playing. Yeah. hmm hmm
If you the PTO don't get a fire in to make sure that we on top of that, don't mean when we sit in in what going on, or
It's love. Exactly.
hey, I having a problem with trusses. You know anybody with trusses? Yeah, yeah. Let me
Yeah.
send you the. That don't have nothing with friendship and comfort. But at the end of the day, everybody have to want to have the best party in the Virgin Islands. It only makes a better Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Every have to have the best and on the road. It only makes for a better Juve. So it
Fact.
ain't just, it's about all of you think I want party to feed it to flap.
Mm.
If Mimosa Sunday bringing people to the Virgin Islands, right? Just for Mimosa Sunday, right? I trying to piggyback on that to make sure they come early for forfeit.
Yeah.
Because they don't bring in people here. Everybody win. Say,
Facts.
Mr. Thomas, it didn't have to do.
Facts.
Some Benjamin, it might have a big show here and there. But now it have a plethora of things that you could look at your candle and say, man, I might miss forfeit this year, but I'm gonna have soca elements, I'm gonna have PTU, I'm gonna have Jipper Drunk, I'm gonna have Mimosa. Okay, cool. Damn, I can't miss forfeit this year. I gotta come early, but I can't stay long, so I'm gonna miss Mimosa Sunday this year. Next year I'm gonna catch fort. That is a good thing.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm saying I think
Yeah. So I guess just to
find a way to compete in the market.
yes.
They want it for them, but this is
Yes.
called capital, it's
Yes.
entrepreneur. Okay,
Fact.
you have a way. Yeah.
Fact. So what we want is you see like that camaraderie, that competitive camaraderie. That's the word. That word busting my ass. Camaraderie.
Yeah, comrade. Yes, camaraderie. Yeah.
Camaraderie.
Mm,
The competitive camaraderie
yeah.
that the promoter them have run the place. Um, that's been thriving. Meaning like, okay, boom, Sunday we know that's this, Monday's that, Tuesday's this, Friday's that. We need that on the road, man, guys. Something gotta be done. We just pointing at what it is we see. If a band man feel differently and I want to come talk to us, enlighten us, let us know about your struggles. So we could have that conversation. So we could all speak and operate from a place of informedness. Like we are informed on what we're talking about. But as for right now, Kyle, I always want to solve something fast. But Red Man was like, we gotta slow down. We can't just throw money at this situation here, my boy, because what you're gonna do, it's dangerous because now you're creating a level of entitlement, and then now if we create this new expectation, guess what's gonna happen to the new and upcoming band them? They ain't gain on the road unless they get paid. So the deeper problem is having to restore that road pride within these men and helping them find it. So maybe the conversation needs to happen with the division of festival and these men to really like, yo, this is what we expect, this is what missing, this is what we need. And once I provide this, we would support you. Uh, you know what I mean? To help
Let
you
me
get
let me
what you
end
need.
with this.
Right.
Why it takes you that do? Why it takes me and you that do when we want something done and ain't getting done? What we to do?
What do you mean?
Ourselves. So
Yeah, oh
I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah. Start about.
and dissing them mother- yeah. Like let's start dissing them.
Start about
Yeah,
this and all of them, man.
yeah, just start dissing all of them. You check? Make a whole yeah, man, just start
Just this and man, this and
yeah,
everybody, yeah,
yeah.
all is smoke.
So we
All is smoke, man.
are
See there?
let me tell you
All is
something. Let me
smoke,
tell
man.
I remember right. You want me to tell you when Virgin take a turn to when Timothy and Cash had
Yeah.
their beef?
Mm.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I had a different level of respect for Cash as a rapper after that. For the same reason I had a different level of respect for Sugar Band when they went after Jam Man. Because
We
you crazy enough to go after that crazy man. And you could hang in there 2, 3 rounds with this crazy man. Respect to you. To this day, I would listen to whatever Cash put out lyrically because of that. So you're right.
we's a competitive culture. And we have to get back to that. I wanna be the man.
Yeah.
Okay. And just because you might be the man, don't mean you're the only man.
Man, yeah.
Good to have Sasso at his peak, Shah HP at his peak. And that's the one thing I would say that the bands have done over time, like the past, is that there's more than one band at their peak.
Yeah.
But the little that going on, and oh, this is Brahman. Oh, you ain't supporting Brahman. If you ain't supporting Brahman, this is how I feel, and that ain't this. And we don't really give a fucking all a fuck. We don't call
Yeah.
it what you say is Bram, then my brother, if is
It's,
Bram.
it's Brown.
If you are Calypso, VI type of, okay, cool. But
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
what I care about is the energy that you provide throughout the that entices people to come on this Juve road and let loose.
Look. Yeah.
Name let loose. There's a
Yeah.
reason road runner and let
Yeah.
loose. And if
Mm-hmm.
you just let me tell you something. And we are still saying order. I'm done with this. And I got done with the old man thing. I was only 40, but Friday create songs in Juve that ended up being songs throughout the year.
Mm.
Because and songs is like he was dub plating on a boat ride and dub plating in a Juve. It is an
Mm-hmm.
addition of your new music and your new style and your new chip and your new rhythm and your new, you know what I mean? Is oh shit, Swanks really just pull the fuck out in a Juve? Mass. We
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Why you cooking up in a pot?
Yeah.
And here what the worst thing is, you have online. Friday didn't have
Yeah.
online.
Have that. Yeah.
I say, I guess something for you, Juve
Yeah.
man. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'll fuck up the place.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
stop government to come and help you. That is called Section 8. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they hand
Fact.
out.
Facts.
Aggressive. Trust me. When you build it, they
They gonna
going
pump.
brother man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When you build that energy, they can't stop you. It's like a snowball.
Yeah.
But it emanate. It's like I'm managing an artist, right? But he don't have no desire to aggressively pursue the music. So he waiting for me to like
Mm-hmm.
push. Nigga, this is your shit.
Yeah.
You hiring me to work hard for you.
Yeah.
You should be inspiring the people to come and support you throughout the year so that by the end of the year, you could be like, April is the championship, the Kentucky Derby is in April, the Preakness is in July, and the Belmont Stakes is in December.
Yeah.
However, you want to switch it around with these islands. But the Graces, these Juve manning. I don't give a shit what fucking venue you're playing for Carnival, you know. I in a village every night. I don't give
Yeah.
a shit. Crush, I don't care. That's for them people who go crush. Crush is for the young folks. Juve manning is for everybody. So come Juve manning is when I go hear blindness. I ain't hearing them no other place else. So
Mhm.
the best work supposed to come. And I will finish right there with that. That's my last statement.
I respect that. So I will come in at this thing with from a dollars and cents perspective. The red man come at it from a manager perspective. Yeah, he actually does this shit. He manages young artists. So you talk real good. You help me to understand what really, like this ain't something I could throw money at. Saying that money ain't gonna fix this fuck. They need to have it within them, man, to want this thing. So the incentivizing is tricky, but we do understand we have a product and a culture to secure. You check? And so this was a really good conversation, man. And hopefully, if you're a bad man, don't get offended. Don't shade us on the internet. Call me if you get my number. Get my number. Call Red. We have a conversation. Visions of festival, same thing. Hit us up. We could be the bridge that could make this thing happen, guys. We could sit down at the wrong table and really just figure this thing out so that next year this ain't an issue no more. Because I would I had a good time in them. I knew everybody. Had a good time. So I ain't boring. But the product could be better. So
I don't
how we
mind,
going go ahead.
I don't mind government getting involved. I just don't want them to have a heavy hand to
Yeah,
tip scale. You
yeah,
see what I'm saying? I don't
yeah,
mind Ian calling them man and say, listen, let's have a conversation about what a road's supposed to look like.
yeah,
Conversation with Ian thinking that my tax dollars is your
yeah, yeah,
uh, federal aid. It is
yeah,
not.
yeah,
There as consultants. And if
yeah,
we did that, some money would help. I could see that. But don't
yeah,
come um that we're gonna just give you something to be on the road
yeah,
because for this last. I like I
yeah,
told you before, I spend my money with people who going to employ more people than
yeah.
with people in a package. So I don't have I love I love my culture, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
But I love it just cause if you ain't continuously to make me love it. I
yeah,
love the music that
yeah,
I make for just when the liquor game, not when the liquor in me is nice. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
More for them young people are getting drunk. Me, I
yeah.
got
Yeah,
but I want them to win. I want them to own the road. I want them
yeah,
to look like 1999. I want them to
yeah.
make it look like
It's the facts.
but I
Facts.
want to understand that we're in 1990 versus where we
Mhm.
is live as far
Yeah,
as the projection. So there's a
yeah,
couple they say I think the trucks closer. Far, there's too much the Juvé should be like a cluster of people moving, not a string of people along the
yeah,
road.
yeah,
Yeah, cool. The bands them don't need to be that far apart. If you want, like Windward passes just passing Griffith. You understand
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah, that. Stop hurrying the trucks along. Stop making a
yeah,
Juve move fast. If they
yeah.
go to dictate how fast the Juve went in.
Facts.
We moving. It's march right here.
Yeah,
And under the police, don't come out there with your big stick like you're foreign police. Understand that yes, if it stands still too long, okay, move it.
yeah,
But don't
yeah,
okay, let's
yeah,
have what going on. Police
yeah.
chief, Badge, you bury me last. I'm very proud of you. Make sure the police them and hey, leave it,
I think they
leave
gay. I think
in
they
the
gay
gang.
because
They do a
you
good
you
job this can
yeah man, and
the police
you'll
department do a
see
good job this carnival.
they don't and they'll do the thing. So
The
you'll
police
see
about
even when the
the
girl them try and walk up on them and think they you know what I mean pushing
no
them
no no
out.
no
They
no
just
no.
stand there to do the thing. You know, I see them break up couple fight, you know what I mean? They give couple man warning. A man pull out a big spliff in front in the village in front of
Listen,
a Babylon and she was like, "The boy, come on."
we get the best police department.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree. I agree.
So I don't care
I
about
agree.
nobody is, but we have the best police department in black
Facts.
people, police hands on.
Exactly. We ain't
Okay.
killing nobody, don't it?
Oh,
You ain't
I,
coming here and we killing
I,
our
I,
own.
I see I see police fight people and no gun ain't
Yeah.
come out.
Oh,
Okay.
exactly.
I love
Exactly.
if you
So,
run, get caught up, you get caught up. That just is what it is.
yeah,
But
facts.
the
Facts.
carnival safe. You had that one incident in the village, rest in peace, you know what I mean? To the
Yeah.
fire. But other than that, I think the last 2 years for me, the
Yeah.
police.
The police do the thing.
Listen, even I had a mass and carnival before. They ain't like, oh God, you know what I mean? Hey,
Yeah.
man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on, everybody go
Yeah.
bend the rules. Police understand that, but lead a session
Yeah. Yeah.
before,
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Facts. Facts.
right?
So really good, man. It's a good incentivizing conversation. And like I say, man, shout out to festivals. They're doing their thing. There's always room for improvement. Shout out to the bandman them. They're doing their thing. There's always room for improvement. Shout out to the
Right,
people are doing our thing, but there's always room for improvement, man. And that's what we're
right.
here to discuss, and that's what we're here to try to. to you know what I mean, safeguard the culture for real, for real, for real. And I gotta stay tuned because all the smoke ban coming soon.
Ah, the smoke ban. That's
The
our new ban.
smoke ban. All the smoke ban coming soon.
It's
Okay.
probably
All right. When I hear all the smoke, but you remember how 50 Cent come out? They send everybody. When you hear all the smoke come out and everybody getting straight shot in the ass, I
hey,
understand why.
hey, what going on? We have experience. We were in Calypso, Junior
Oh,
Calypso. Like,
oh, we new to this.
age already. So, no,
We
like
true to this.
oh, we just are cool. Also, I could have chance or
I
something.
read it.
We gonna rare because like if we do it, then nobody gonna have a shot. So might as
Oh,
well.
I read it. Made it. Okay then. When we want something done and people ain't doing it the way we wanted to do it, we don't do it
Yeah,
ourselves. So be careful.
right.
All the smoke ban coming soon. But nonetheless, man, we go tune out now, guys. I really appreciate that tuning in and really giving our insight and our input on this thing, man. It's a really good conversation. And this is what you're gonna get from the currency exchange, man. Every Monday, 7 o'clock, we're gonna have these topics and we're gonna talk about these topics that everybody kind of talk about in the community, but you know, we try and give a big microphone to the topics and the people, man. So I
Right.
appreciate that tuning in and stuff, man. Red, your talk real good today. And it gonna have, and this is the beautiful thing about the Caribbean Currency Podcast. It gonna have things that kind of gonna be gonna have a really good input and a really good
Right.
take and they're gonna have one way, oh shit, Red, that was good.
Right.
Yeah, that one they were good. So you ain't know which way you're gonna go. You know what I mean? But
Right.
at the end of every conversation, we are leaving with a better understanding of what needs to be done.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's what this thing is about, and that's why it's so beautiful, man. So again,
Absolutely.
I appreciate that tuning in, man. And we're gonna see you next week, Monday, 7 o'clock. Currency exchange. Dr. I soon, Caribbean currency.
Peace.
Peace.